Guys, I had to grab my oils. Which way is it? I found if I leave those open a little bit, I have better light and I can see you guys better. So we shall see how it goes. I also had a bunch of people saying that my screen is wiggling, so I'm going to really try hard not to touch the desk because I know it is the desk that's wiggling because I get so excited and I move and stuff. So I'm going to try not to touch the desk. Hope I have enough light going on and see how this video turns out. Hoping the internet and everything works out well because after last week when we had to do a two-parter, that was not very exciting. So hello, how are you today? I'm in a great mood. We are getting ready to do one of our last few park classes. We've been doing them most of the summer and enjoying it, but it's getting so cold. It's like 60 degrees. And it isn't bad if you're out doing stuff, but sitting there in the park, I don't know how it's going to go. So we're playing it by ear. And if we're going to keep doing these or if we're coming to an end, I really thought we would be able to do these in park classes until October, but we'll just have to see. I'm going to ask everybody tonight what they would like to do. So grab some oils and get them on. I am doing a little bit of thieves because it is fall and I want to keep my body strong. I've been putting it on constantly. It's about the time get your roll on out as well so that you have that with you so you can roll that beautiful thieves on every single day. Get it on your feet, get it on your kids' feet, all the things. Let's see, what else am I going to do? I have a little bit of orange because during the summer, I don't get to use very many of my citruses and I love my citrus oil. So I try to bring those back in as soon as possible. And by the way, orange and thieves smell amazing in your diffuser if you feel like doing that. To me, it smells like I'm at a oh, what's it called? An orchard. I love that. So this is an old school peppermint. Do you guys see that label? Oh, I found it in the bottom of one of my purses. And I'm like, oh, a little surprise for me. But the smell's amazing. So one of those deep, strong, almost makes you cough even though you've been using it forever kind of peppermint. So all right, so today's topic is all about enrolling with confidence. So one of the things that you really gotta ask yourself, how do you really feel about Young Living? So what is it that got you started? What gets you excited? Why do you keep ordering? What is your button? Because here's the thing, people are gonna pick up on your truth. If you feel like the oils are amazing, that comes out in what you share. If you feel like I could never hide that I don't like the smell of oregano. It comes out in my face when I open the bottle. I'm all like, I don't like it because it comes out. And that's an obvious one. But you gotta realize that we have these subconscious, these very tiny cues that we give to people, even if we don't verbalize something, it comes across. So when you're sharing Young Living and you're sharing your truth, that reality becomes their reality. They see it, they feel it, they want it. But the same is true of things that you aren't sure about. So you're talking about the oils, you're in love with the oils, you're telling people, oh, you did this oil, it was amazing, and you're super excited about it. And then you get to the price and you're like, well, like it's like 165, but you don't have to get that. You can just, here's some information and you feel sketchy about the price because you're worried about the cost because maybe in your head the price is too much, or maybe in your head the person you're talking to can't afford it, or maybe in your head a host of other lies that you are looking back on subconsciously to make the feeling that you have in that moment, or you're afraid that they think you're trying to sell them something. You're being salesy. And so the minute you get to the price, you change your posture. Now, you may not go as extreme, but there's these little things. Your eyes go down, your chin goes down, your shoulders come in a little bit. And do you know what that person picks up instantly? They're no longer hearing your words, they're going by your nonverbal cues. And what they're seeing is that something's not right. Like they don't know what's not right. They don't necessarily think you're lying, but all of their instincts tell them they need to think about it. They need to wait. They need to talk to their spouse. They need to, all of these things. And it happened in just seconds. because you know you've been talking to people before and they're all excited and they're using the oils and you're talking back and forth and the report is amazing. You're like, yes, yes, yes. In your head, you know this is the one. And then all of a sudden, they're switched out. All of a sudden, they're not interested anymore. All of a sudden, they distance themselves. A lot of times, they'll even pull away from the table itself. Sometimes their feet will turn so they're facing away from where you are. And all of those are their instincts saying, I got to get away. Something isn't okay. So if you're going to go out there and start sharing, one of the things is you have to start having the confidence in everything about Young Living. So go ahead and make a list of the things that make you go when you think about them. So is it the bad things people have said about Young Living? Go ahead, write that down. Get it on paper. Let's talk about those things because what needs to happen is you need to find your answer. Either you're okay with it and you decide, you know what, we are bigger, we are more than, and I'm good with it. This is my truth. I know that my life was radically and dramatically changed, that the woman I am today would not be here today if it were not for these oils. That my stalker legitimately, I tell her all the time, she saved my life. And there is nothing I would not do for her. And I don't care what I don't care what story I see or hear. I don't care what um I don't none of it matters to me. The price, the all of the things, I know that if I can impart that excitement to somebody else, that their life is never going to be the same. And if I can give that to just one person, then my purpose is fulfilled. I've done what I'm supposed to do. I know that when something good happens to you, you have a moral and ethical obligation to tell other people. So I'm not in charge of what they do with it. I never feel nervous because, like, their income, either they make a whole bunch of money and I should be nervous because they're better than me, or they don't make any money and I know that if I'm asking them to do this, they're having to take it out of their housing. I don't worry about any of that. I know that my job is to share the option. That's all I can do. The name of my personal business is A New Hope. A new hope, because my job, that's what Young Living gave me, was a new hope. And my job is to turn around and give that hope to other people. And I feel it so strong here that people they never question whether or not this is the right thing. They're just willing to do it on that hope and on that excitement, because that's where we make decisions. When you go to buy a car, you go and you may do a little bit of research, but when do you make the decision to get the car? It's when you're behind that seat and you're like, oh yeah, this feels great. And you can see the kids sitting in the back and they're back far enough where they're not touching each other, so they're not going to fight. Like, it's an emotional decision that is made. And that's how people make most of their decisions, is emotionally based. So if you can come at people from the heart center, Vicky Opfer, amazing Royal Crown Diamond, great program. She's got a book that is just amazing on heart centered sharing. So coming at it from that perspective so that you're seeing where people's needs are. And honestly, if you will come if you will listen to people when they're talking, you will know how to be the answer for what they need. So I think so often we're like, this is what I got to say. And we know everything we want to say. And we have all these things we want to tell them, but we're not listening back to what the person is saying so that we can be the answer. My stalker is a great example of this. My sweet stalker, she stalked me down for months. She was telling me about Young Living. She was telling me how it's going to help with this and that and all these different things. And I didn't care about any of that at the time. We were busy taking care of my mom. And it wasn't until probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 months in, she was over one day and I just snapped at her and said, what is wrong with you? Why do you keep telling me about these stupid oils? I don't care about your stupid oils. I don't care. If it can't help my mom, I don't want to hear about it. And a couple days later, she called me and talked to me about what we could do for my mom. And that's when she got my attention. For you, maybe those people that you've been chatting with that you're just not seeing those results, maybe you just haven't been listening to their cues because we think we know what they need. My girlfriend thought she knew exactly what I needed because she knew my story, she knew the things I was going through, and she's like, I got the answers. But it wasn't the answers because that's not what my questions were. So when you really identify what people need, and like if you happen to go to a meeting and there's people in the room that are new, so this isn't you with a one-on-one, but you're actually in a class, one of my favorite things to ask when I've got two or three people sitting there is, so why are you here today? I want to make sure what I'm going to teach is going to cover what they're looking for. Why did they come? What do they need? How can we be the answer? Because the truth is, Young Living, we are wellness, we are purpose, we are abundance. We're able to cover so many different needs for people. So if somebody is in there and they don't have the money and they're really, really tight, then my answer is, oh my gosh, this is why we came across each other. You are never going to be the same financially, girl. When I came in, I was making 13,000 a year. We were poverty level with four children. This is going to be the answer for you. So now I've given her hope that somebody who is just like her, and there can be a change. And if you don't have that story, maybe you came in and you already had a ton of money. That's okay. Use mine. Literally 13,000 a year, raising four children. We were broke, and we are now diamonds with this company. It has been astronomical, the changes that have happened in our life. So you can use my poverty story. So finding out all of the pieces. Why are they there? What are they looking for? And a lot of times you don't have to ask those specific questions. You can ask other. I want you to write down friends, occupation, recreation, and money. That is form, FORM, friends, occupation, recreation, and money. People love to talk about themselves. So if you learn to ask questions and you follow the questions about their family, how is it going with homeschooling right now, having all the kids home with you? Are you okay? Are the kids okay? Does your husband actually come home after work? Right? So find out what's happening with the family. Occupation, what's going on with the job right now? Are you working more hours, less hours? Is it crazy trying to do the homeschooling and working the job? What's been going on with that? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Do you want to be there forever? Is it what you went to school for? Is it your dream? There's so many questions that you can ask. Recreation, what did you guys do for fun this year? Did you go camping? Did you go to Disney? I just seen a bunch of people posting pictures of them at Disney, and I'm like, oh, that would not be my dream vacation right now with everything and having to wear a mask. It's just so talk to them about what they like to do because a lot of people want to travel but can't afford it, right? So maybe that's a piece that we can do. Maybe they want to travel and Young Living, I travel all over the world. I get to do classes everywhere I go, enroll people. There's so many things. Money. You can talk to them. People are open about griping about their money, especially right now with everything going on. They will tell you their whole story on it. And again, we have those answers. We have that ability to be able to help them, but only if we know what they're looking for, only if we know what they need, and making sure I offer the business portion to everybody I talk to. And I know this is one of those things that everybody's a little bit different, but I talk about wellness, purpose, and abundance, and I share them equally. And part of the reason why I do that is because I came in and we were broke. We were some of the people that had the most money in the group of people we hung out with. So that tells you the people that we were hanging out with. They were all broke as well. And I knew that if I didn't show them how they could get a check, it wasn't like millions. It was never, oh, you'll make 20,000 a month. That was never, but I knew I wanted to help them get that 3 or 400 so they could afford their products. Because most of the people loved everything. But the thought of having to do 3 or 400 dollars a month to be able to get the stuff for their health, like, dude, I can buy groceries or I can buy supplements. I can't do both. So of course they would pick groceries over it. So my job was to teach them that there is an opportunity here. And I know you guys have already heard me talk about this 1,000 times. This right here, this is our silver bound bonus. And you guys need to share this information. The thing with the silver bound bonus is that the timer starts the minute they sign up. So that timer for them to set that structure with the two separate legs for their star, that 500 OGV, and the two legs each have in theirs, that structure, the timer starts, and they have 2 months from the time they enroll. 2 months from the day that they get started to be able to get that extra $50. And maybe for you, $50 isn't a huge deal, but for some people, that's a big deal. That's like, tennis shoe, I mean, boots and coats for their kids. That's something that's doable. It's an actionable step. It helps them to be able to get started and know that they're going to get that back. And doing that in that 2 month period, it's basically like enrolling yourself, having your 100 PV, and then having two separate legs and each have two people in those. So that's around 200 PV here, around 200 PV here, and your own that gives you that 500. That structure, enrolling those people, you get around 50 bucks every single time they enroll somebody and get them on that ER anyways. So when they do that, you're showing them a way to get a good $300 in their first month. That's huge. And the coolest thing about this structure, hint, hint, is that if somebody does it from the beginning, star to silver, that is 12 months to silver. So I know some of you guys watching this, you've been in more than 12 months. And you're like, it didn't happen for me. But that's okay. Your timer starts over. So whatever rank you've already gone through, say you've already done the star and you missed that part. That's okay. Once you re-rank as senior star, your timer starts going for your executive. And you have 3 months to get there. And when you get the executive bonus, it's $500. Like 550 might not impress you, but 500 should. 500 is a substantial amount of money. And doing this is setting the structure, the mind work, and the timeline. The coolest thing about this, and the reason why it's going to be so successful for people that really adopt it, is because once you start introducing your people here, and say, here, we're going to start you, get you to star, so you get that extra $50. And we're going to do that in the next 2 months. And then we're going to do this in the next 3 months. We're going to do this in the next 3 months. This is not just you making numbers up out of the air, picking a goal. This is something that Young Living looked at and strategically said, when people do this, they have amazing businesses. It is doable. I want you to write the word doable down. This is doable. So you can jump in at any point and say, okay, from this point, this is what I'm going to do, because it's always looking at your next, always looking at the next one. So you really want to be able to get people in and get them on essential rewards. Teaching this structure from day one, that 100 PV, that's going to set them up for that success. They're going to understand why they need to do that. So even if they're like, I don't really like the oils, listen, I think it could happen. I don't want any supplements. It's reality. We still have an amazing compensation plan that is phenomenal. Most other MLMs, that's all they have is a compensation plan. And we happen to have the kit and the caboodle. So we have this great comp plan that for some reason we just don't tell people about. We need to be telling people about that piece as well. So now in my classes, I started this just recently, we're doing the silver bound and talking about the business first. So when we sit down and we chat, we're doing this right now. And then I'm going to go into the company and who we are and our oils and then whatever the topic is. And I'm doing that with intention because it's a piece of the pie. I don't want them to leave early because I didn't get to the business to the end and I start talking business and they leave. I'm taking 5 to 10 minutes to go over that so that they know what's possible. I don't ever want anyone to come back and say, Shannon, you dipped me out of my bonus. Like I would have got that $50 if I would have known. I don't want that to be the case. Somebody like, I missed $500 because you didn't tell me. All I needed was an extra 20 points in this lake here, and you just didn't tell me. I don't want that to be the case. So I'm starting each and every session with this, and then I'm going over the amazing products that we have and why they're so life changing. So it's kind of switching that perspective around. And I'll tell you what, there are a couple of Royal Crown Diamonds out there that literally built their business strictly on our comp plan. That's all they did. They didn't really go into, one of them said she's never, ever, ever taught a class. Oh my gosh, not my story. I love to teach. So just find your thing, your way of doing it, and then the things that are scaring you, you have them written down. I want you to go find out why. Why are you okay with it? Next time somebody says that, how are you going to respond? What are you going to feel? Because you need to be able to stand in that room, talk to those people, sit at that table, chin up, eyes looking at them, smile on your face, shoulders back, and own it. Just go into it and own it. And we're going to talk about some specific closing lines. I did the class last week on why I say what I say in my why my oily intros, and then I was supposed to go on the next day and actually do the oily intro so you could see it, but I did something different for you guys. I actually went in. I had a bunch of people that day private message me and ask me if I have a script for that class. And I always tell you guys I do not have a script. I just speak from my heart. But this week, I have done the hard thing because I care about you guys, and I have typed up the script. So I am doing the oily intro tomorrow with the script, and I will make that available on my website for you guys so you can turn around and do that. And then I'm going to later this week do this class right here with a script as well. So you'll be able to turn around, share it with other people, teach the class yourself, send it out to people, all the good things. So if you have any questions about any of it, put them over in the comments and I will look through the comments today and tomorrow and answer any questions that you have. And other than that, have a blessed day. If you are in Grand Blankish area, come out and see us at the park. Don't know how many more we're going to have, but I will be there tonight. We're talking all about the immune system. So, all right, guys, chat with you later. Bye.